This is RadioFire.com. Yours truly, Dominic K. in here. Thank you for joining me. Broadcasting from the Radio on Fire studios here in Baltimore, Maryland. A lot of things I want to talk about. A lot of things that I want to get into. And today we're going to be talking about this MTA shutdown, subway shutdown. And I am placing the blame firmly in the lap of Governor Larry Hogan. That's right, I said it. Governor Larry Hogan, the governor of the great state of Maryland. Governor Hogan is a big part of the reason for the shutdown of the subway. And you may ask me why. You may say, why? Why do you say that he is a big part of the reason for the shutdown? I'm going to tell you why. And I'm going to give you actual facts as to why I feel that he helped bring about this subway shutdown here in Maryland. So for people that don't know, across the country, across the world, the subway system here in Baltimore has been shut down for at least 4 weeks. So when they say at least 4 weeks, that means it's going to be more than that. First, they shut it down for the weekend, right? They shut it down for the weekend, and then they expanded it to up to 4 weeks, which I can almost guarantee that it's going to be longer than that. You have a lot of people that catch the subway system. Over 40,000 riders during the week catch the subway. Over 17,000 people on the weekend catch the subway here in Baltimore, and that has been shut down. It doesn't make any sense to me why a city of this size can't maintain a subway system. So in true Republican fashion, what did Larry Hogan do? I'm going to tell you what Larry Hogan did. He did the same thing that Donald Trump would have done. He blamed the previous administration. That's what Donald Trump does. When something happens, Donald Trump blames the previous administration. Oh no, that was him. Obama did that. Hillary did that. Bush did that. Anybody but him, right? When the economy goes the way he wants it to go, he did it. When something goes wrong, it's somebody else. This is a Republican go-to strategy. And we got to understand something. People like Larry Hogan for some strange reason. Larry Hogan is a Republican. Now, a lot of people say, oh, you can't vote on party lines. You just Democrat, Republican, you can't. Okay, I hear you. I hear what you're saying. Fundamentally, there are some things that Republicans disagree with, and that is things for the people. So if you're one of the people, if you're not one of the 1%, they're not even thinking about you. So fundamentally, if you're a regular person in the income ladder, you have to understand that Republicans don't give a fuck about you. Now, some people become disenchanted with Democrats, and I understand why you may do that. But the way to go would be independent, not Republican. If you say you're independent, you're not Democrat or Republican, I can respect that too. But definitely not Republican. Republicans don't take responsibility for anything. And Larry Hogan is a Republican. Larry Hogan is in the over the third year of his administration. And when this incident happens, he goes back and blames the previous administration from 3 years ago. What about the stuff that you were supposed to do, Larry Hogan? Oh, you don't want to talk about that, right? When things happen here in Baltimore, Larry Hogan consistently throws the Baltimore mayors under the bus. He doesn't take responsibility for nothing. If some shit happened in Larry Hogan's house, I'm sure he would say it's the fault of the people that own the house before I got here. That's how Larry Hogan is. And we are fooled by his inability to publicly side with Trump. So we think that he's good. Because he just kind of doesn't really do anything, he just kind of flies under the wave, we think that he's a good fit. I don't think that he's a good fit. I did not think he was a good fit in the beginning. But so we have him now. As I said, Larry Hogan says that the reason that the subway system is messed up, the reason that the tracks are in the state that they're in is because of 30 years of neglect. Now, I want to say this, that the subways may have been neglected. That's true. But the previous administration had put something into play, which was a new transportation system for Baltimore. They had money set up for this. They started building this, what was called the Red Line. If you remember, there was $900 million supposedly saved by Larry Hogan canceling the Red Line. Y'all remember the Red Line? People that live on the west side have started to see them do things over on the west side as far as building track that was going to run. And they had this whole system set up that was the Red Line. This is a new transportation system that Baltimore was getting, a much needed transportation system, because our subway system was old, because our buses were old, because we needed some modern transportation options, and this stuff was set up. But what did Larry Hogan do? Larry Hogan canceled that. Larry Hogan and his administration came up with this foolhardy idea of renaming the same old bus system that we already had, renaming the same subway system that we already had, renaming and painting the buses, the same shit we already had. And he supposedly saved this money. What did he do with this money? We don't fucking know. He didn't put it here in Baltimore. They painted some buses. They didn't fix the tracks that were messed up then. Why didn't you fix the tracks then? You saved $900 million, Larry Hogan. Why didn't they put it into the MTA at that point? Why didn't they put a portion of the money into the track system? That was your opportunity to fix the track there. But he didn't do it. You know why he didn't do it? Because Larry Hogan doesn't care about Baltimore. Larry Hogan is from out in the county, way out in Annapolis somewhere, where he is looking down on Baltimore. And then Baltimoreans want to vote for Larry Hogan? Really? Really? I had a conversation with somebody today about this, and I went past the subway station at Mondawmin, and I just told random people, Larry Hogan is the reason that this subway system is like this. And one of the guys said, Larry Hogan is trying to help the bus system. He gave some money for these shuttles that we're waiting for. And I wanted to tell this foolish man that Larry Hogan is just throwing pennies, throwing just trinkets when he's holding up the money that could really fix the transportation system. Roads may be something that he values, maybe something that he's interested in, but it's definitely not transit. Not transit here in Baltimore. But he doesn't have to ride the subway system here in Baltimore. And I'm sure that he doesn't know anybody who's riding the subway system here in Baltimore. Well, actually, right now, nobody's riding the subway system because it's broke. It's just not in effect. And do past administrations need to bear some of the brunt? Yes. But once you pass over and take over the transportation job, once you become the governor, how long are you going to continue to blame the past administration? You know, I keep saying Trump does the same thing. He's still blaming the past administration when things don't go right. Larry Hogan's no different. When things go right, he wants to take responsibility for it. Now, the MTA made a decision, and I'm glad that there were no accidents. I'm glad that no one was injured. I'm glad that they had the wherewithal to shut the system down. But why would you wait this long? Why would you wait until the rail tracks are worn down? So they knew about this months ago. And what they did instead, and when I say months ago, they knew about this when they launched this crap same bus system that we already had, that they renamed and painted the buses and painted some bus stops and changed the name of the routes. They knew about this then, but what did they do? Larry Hogan, MTA, and all those folks, what they did was make the subway trains go slower. Instead of going 60 to 70 miles, they took it down from 15 to 20 miles. So if you were wondering why you were still late for work and you took the subway and the subway left when it was supposed to leave, if you notice that your ride started taking longer, if you notice that they started single tracking all the damn time, that was because instead of fixing the tracks, they decided to single track and ride slower. That's what they did. And that is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. Restricting the speeds when there's a track problem, it makes sense. But you're supposed to fix the track problem. Like, what are they doing? Like, okay, so they're single tracking. Are you just not doing anything to the other track? No? Nothing. Today, Monday, is the first day that this lack of a subway system went into effect. So they had these charter buses picking people up. Nobody knew what time the buses were coming. Nobody knew where they were stopping at. And they were going from subway station to subway station, dropping people off and picking people up. And, this is Baltimore. And we're dealing with this primitive shit. Because they did not properly address the transportation issue that we had, which was the reason for the red line in the first place. Now they're spending extra money to come up with the shuttle system. And then they're going to supposedly fix these issues with the tracks in 4 weeks. And I'm telling you, knowing the way that they've been doing things, this is going to take way longer than 4 weeks. Way longer than 4 weeks. They were saying that the rail infrastructure had grown old. The rail infrastructure was wobbly, meaning one of those rail cars, subway rail cars, could have gone off the track. Can you imagine that? As I said, 40,000 people per day on those subways. 40,000. And 17,000 over the weekend. Can you imagine what he would have blamed, of course, the previous administration. And let me say, the previous administration, I keep saying the previous administration. The previous administration was the O'Malley administration, okay? No fan of the O'Malley administration whatsoever. But that's who the previous administration is. So when you blame the previous administration, and he made a lot of mistakes, he did a lot of things, and had the nerve to run for president. But anyway, O'Malley's administration between 2013 and 2018 in a 6-year plan allotted $335 million for rail car, signal system upgrades, and other replacements. Okay? All right, that's not chump change. That's a lot more money than what Larry Hogan and his administration has put into the subway system here in Baltimore. But nonetheless, 40,000 riders every weekday, no way to get a subway. And so they come up with this weird bus system that nobody can even understand. They had MTA people down there trying to explain people, direct them, go this way, go that way, walk over here, don't walk over here, that kind of stuff. But records have shown that Hogan added $58 million to the current budget for renewal of interlockings, which is the place where the trains can switch from track to track, right? I think you guys must be getting overly charged by this. Who are coming up with these rates, right? If you spent $58 million for that, if you added that to the budget, did they spend it on the interlocks? No, they just put it in a bank somewhere, and nothing happened with it. So he's blaming the previous administration. Previous administration is blaming him. But we definitely know that the tracks are worn down. We definitely know that there's 4 weeks. We definitely know that 26 coach buses were traveling to the metro route stations, and it was chaos, utter chaos. People that got to go to east, people that got to go to west, no way to get there, and this is a disaster that, as I said, I place the blame on Larry Hogan, because if they had gone ahead with the red line, we would have been in a better situation. The MTA announcing, not even 24 hours before it happens, oh yeah, no subway system. And if you remember, just in September, they relaunched the whole bus system, or maybe over the summer. The buses are getting there 67% of the time, they're on time. The rest of the time, they're late. The new routes, nobody understands them. Nobody likes them. They are not cool. But this is where we are. This is where we are right now. How long is it going to take to fix the issues with the subway system? The MTA is saying it's going to take 4 weeks, right? They're saying it's going to take 4 weeks. So you will wait till the last minute to do a quick rush job, and who's to say that it's going to be right? You may be scared to ride it after that. After we know, since we know what's wrong with it, we may be scared. It may not be safe to even ride at this point. We don't know. We're taking the word for it. We're taking their words for it. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, at The Dom and K Show, at Radio on Fire. I'm going to be talking about this for a while, and I really think that Baltimoreans need to take a long, hard look in the mirror and think about it before you vote for Larry Hogan again. I just want people to think about it. Let me know your thoughts. We're definitely going to revisit this again.